Welcome back to Soccer Card United. It's episode 262 of the greatest soccer card podcast in the world. My name is Jason. That's Enzo. Hello, Enzo.
Hello, Jason. And you know what? I feel a bit phony here because I was chatting to you pre-recording going on, and I'm going to point out a lovely haircut you have there, and I didn't do it prior. So I don't want to feel like you're on the spot. No, I didn't, but I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't. But I'll say this. Was Frank not concerned? Like, are you not concerned? Like, it's cold. Like, I'm going to get my haircut as well today, but I'm a bit scared of how much to take off the top because it's very cold out there.
Well, I think we're kind of in hat season.
So you're safe.
And so I think I'm going to just, take the hair off, and then maybe I actually don't have a current winter hat that's in rotation. So perhaps this weekend in the Netherlands, I might do some hat shopping.
There you go. That's a great little segue.
Yes, thank you. Because we will be, of course, in the Netherlands this weekend. For Sunday, the 1st of December, we are co-hosting a showcase with Q's Cards in Amersfoort, just between Amsterdam and Utrecht. And it's a very exciting situation for us to be co-hosting an event in another country.
That's right. First time we've kind of done that, basically.
Yeah, first time we've done that. Just to say that there are some vendors, other vendors confirmed. So obviously Q's Cards will be there. Ourselves, sportshobbyshop.ie is coming over. Connor's coming over with us. Irish representation.
I'd love to see that.
Then a few Dutch vendors. There are more vendors than this, but these are just ones that have been confirmed recently. TCG Legends, F Cards NL, and KO 10 Card Collector. And just to show you, Enzo, I go into these tagged accounts. There's a little bit of fire got to be at this this showcase.
Seeing some super factors.
Yeah, look at that. Ardagula national debut. Finest super factor.
Is there not another Ardagula super factor just above it? A couple of spaces there. Is that a super? No, it's not a super. Is that just an orange wave, a green wave?
Yeah.
There you go.
But very exciting stuff. So if people are in the region, anywhere near Amersfoort, come along.
Get involved.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Look at this.
I'm looking forward to it. Look at that. 101 Thierry Henry. Maybe we can be walking away with that card, Jason.
Well, I don't want to make any promises, but people do know I have a certain fondness for the Arsenal.
The Gunner.
The Gunners, yeah. So yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. Never been to Amersfoort before, so I'm very much ready to go.
And there's going to be, we're going to be having food, drinks, and we're going to be hopefully building some bridges and getting some people from the Netherlands to come over to the Dublin Card Show on the 1st of March. We're trying to build a link here.
Yeah, we're going out on a what do you call it?
Going out on a limb.
No, not going out. Like when you're going out with the intention of kind of getting people. What would you even call that?
Right. We're kind of canvassing
a little bit. I'm thinking of a religious term, maybe.
Oh, we're going on a mission.
Yeah, we're going on a mission. People. There you go. Yeah, we're converting people to Dublin. It's like, look, you're based in the Netherlands, and there's plenty of German shows on. I understand that, but did you know there's a 1-hour flight to one of the greatest cities in the world with undoubtedly the greatest podcast in the world being hosted from that city, and quite a top-class card show as well.
Yep. So this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship between the Irish hobby and the Dutch hobby.
Definitely. I'll work on my pitch as well. Be ready to go this weekend.
I thought it was good. I like that you linked the podcast to the card show to the city. Right. It was good. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to forget the flyers, by the way. I'm going to put that.
Oh, you got to bring those flyers.
I'm going to forget the flyer.
Oh, no.
I know.
I need those flyers.
I know.
Okay, we also talked about, I realized, by the way, I should just address the fact that my mic was completely messed up on Tuesday's podcast.
Shocking.
So just for, as you said, you heard me perfectly clearly during the recording.
Apart from the times you were glitching out because of your internet, which doesn't seem to be a problem today.
No. So I think what was happening was I was having poor internet connection, and the local recording on the software we used to make the podcast was glitching on my audio signal, and so I was people were getting a bit of this bit of interference.
It was confirmed.
But you were crystal clear. You sounded great.
Listen, I keep a very clean internet connection over here. I keep nothing else connected to it, partially because of the state I'm in at the moment. There's nothing downstairs anymore. Yeah. But it's good to know. It's good to know you knew about that. People did reach out to me as well, tell me about it. I forgot to respond to some of our good friends out there, Jason. So I'll do that after this.
It was one of those things where it was like I was listening to it and I was like, right, there's no way, because that actually was like usually there's like the the cloud recording, and then there's a local recording as well. The cloud recording is not working. You switch to the local recording.
This is not a sound system podcast, Jason. Come on.
Vice versa. But
skip along.
I had nothing to, so I had to make this call of, do I put it out with the bad audio or do I just not put it out? So I put it out with the bad audio.
Right.
But as a result, we're going to go over some ground we've already covered on Tuesday's podcast, because I think a lot of people probably listened to Tuesday's podcast and said, I'm skipping this one.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn this one off.
Yeah, this one ain't worth it. One of the things we talked about on Tuesday was the Fanatics Collectibles store in London. That seems to be under construction right now. And extra news came out. Remember, there were Match Attax cards in the little windows?
Not anymore.
Now there are. Yeah. Look at that.
Premium cards. They're showing it was one thing and you're leveling up.
And so we had, what's the first one there? An Erling Haaland gold frame museum autograph.
Yeah. Could it be on card? No, I don't think so.
I think it's a sticker. But it says that the Fanatics Collectibles store is opening in Westfield in London on the 2nd of December, 2024.
Which is what, a week away, if even.
That's Monday, isn't it?
It is. No, it's Tuesday, isn't it?
No, it's got to be Monday, because the 1st of December, of course, we're in Amersfoort, and that's Sunday.
Yeah, Monday, the first Monday of December, perfectly in time for the Christmas season. So they might have a very strong December. This might be a very positive kind of, this is a good first month.
Yeah, I think Fanatics are gonna find this to be a profitable venture. The store will be packed with a huge range of trading cards, so that's singles confirmed.
Yeah, and Match Attax all the way up to higher end confirmed, I would say, based on the little windows.
Exclusive memorabilia.
Ooh.
What's that? And special guests.
Special guests.
So, I mean, it's
good. I'm excited. I really want to see, how it goes.
Yeah. It's in Westfield in London, which is Europe's largest shopping centre,
by the way. Oh no,
they
froze. Oh no, we've all froze. We're all back.
Oh, don't tell me you just experienced a connection problem.
Very slight.
Oh no, people, it's happening again.
It's very slight. I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. Anyway, 2nd of December, it looks like the Fanatics Collectible store is opening in Westfield, which I just learned is Europe's largest shopping centre.
Wow.
And that's, you didn't hear that part. That must have been when I glitched.
Yep.
Okay. Well, one of the experience for the listeners. Let's try and cover some more ground that we already covered on Tuesday, but we had to kind of bail out of because of the connection issues that were occurring. And that is our cards that are on consignment with Trade We for this eBay auction that we're doing. These are here. And Enzo, I honestly cannot remember which of these are ours and which aren't.
Come on, Jason.
I know most of them are ours.
I would
recognize
sort.
Most of ours.
I would sort best match to highest bid to begin with.
Yeah, that's how we had it on Tuesday. But then I bailed out of it.
Right. So the dynasty is not ours. There.
The Kenny Dalglish dynasty is not ours.
These two are ours. The Bon Mati surprised me tremendously, and then I went and did some research, and I realized it was a really good card that I didn't realize. It was an on-card autograph. We only opened one single box of Bon Mati Platinum, and I did that in a stressed out state, Jason, where I just grabbed one and said, let me open this.
Yeah, that was a stress rip.
Yeah, it was a stress rip, and I seen it, and I was like, this is on card, this is brilliant. And I said, the Bon Mati set's brilliant. But when I seen this the other day, the auction, I think it was £100, and I was like, whoa, that seems good. And I went in, that might be the only on-card Bon Mati image or whatever. Like, I think it might be the only actual one that's from that set.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's actually, like, this is actually a really rare, and I mean, I thought there was like, it's obviously a Bon Mati Platinum set. There will be a lot of different on-card autographs, but I think I was wrong, and this is actually, I think it's the only one. It's the only one I could find anyway. Obviously a great image, really cool. On-card, like, she obviously doesn't have any licensed on-card autographs apart from this, apparently. So it was kind of for example, that's a card that at the London Card Show we probably would have sold £40, maybe £30 without really knowing. Maybe that's a bit low, but I don't know.
But we would have certainly been open to offers on it.
It would have been lower than where it is now, but not because that's worth. Like, Jason, if you look, I would actually ask you to copy the name of that.
Okay.
And like, sadly, the co-signee, whatever, the Trade We didn't say on card auto, just said auto, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think they have enough of a audience that it doesn't matter. Some people might miss it, some people won't. But if you look at the comps on that card,
yeah, which I'm currently
they befuddled me. I couldn't believe it. Like, that 150 is actually currently low. Like, if someone said £100 in London, I'd have been like, done.
There's an off 25 doing £416 sterling.
Now, only one bid. questionable, whatever.
Who was that? Yeah, who knows?
But in general, that's
Look
kind
at
of
that, there's
where they
another one.
are.
Also one bid.
That might be the same one. If you go
Yeah,
down,
it's the same card. Yeah.
I think you're on eBay UK, so you won't get them all.
Okay. eBay.com, is that what you're thinking?
An eBay.com job. But yeah, I've seen some at like 500 is basically where we're going. But that's kind of one of the ones where it almost went under the radar. We ripped it, we hit it, we didn't really look into the comps of it, and it's actually worth a lot more than we thought it was, and it's actually reflecting that in the auction. And that's a card where at a card show, if you came up to our table, you'd have got a good deal on it, because I would have never imagined it was a $600 card, for example.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting to just point out that I do think you have a different relationship pricing cards you've pulled than pricing cards you've received negotiation, because obviously, and that's kind of like one of the things that is great, and one of the things that is difficult sometimes, because sometimes people pull cards, and because it is a big hit in the context of the cards they've ever pulled, they assume that like, oh my god, I got an of 10 here of this, it must be worth the box value, or the box value plus €200 or whatever. But because so sometimes people can be a little bit like overly attached to cards that they've pulled as opposed to cards they've traded for or bought. On the flip side, sometimes you can just think, especially if it's a big hit from a relatively affordable set, you can sometimes just think, well, whatever somebody offers me for this, I'll just take it because I've had my fun.
I hit it and I just said, oh yeah, it's a platinum set. Obviously, there's on-card autos in here. Cool. And I never really thought twice. Again, I just assumed there was a lot of on-card autos. But as it turns out, I think it's the only officially licensed Bonmatí on-card auto. She's obviously just won the Ballon d'Or. So it makes sense that this is kind of where the price is.
That's an interesting one. We'll watch that keenly. I'm very invested in this Thierry Henry Arsenal Invincibles autograph, because about 600 people asked me for a prize at the last London card show. And I know what I need this to finish at in my mind for me to be satisfied. And I'm not saying that on air.
What would you do if someone won it who had asked you for it and they get it under what you said it was?
I would be very, very
disappointed.
Very, very disappointed. Yeah.
That's right.
But I will say it's already gone past what some people told me it couldn't be worth more than.
Wow. Okay.
So, let's go down to this. Bukayo Saka. I expect this Color Blast PSA 10 Bukayo Saka to do better than this.
That is a card that I think, and obviously we need to let all the auctions finish, etc. But this is the kind of card I would have imagined would have been better suited to an American auction house,
Mm-hmm. Where
PSA
Color Blast kind of holds a real...
Yeah. It's a different kettle of fish over there. But obviously being Arsenal, still good here. So that's just going to be an interesting one. That could underwhelm us, Jason, I would imagine. But you never know.
Yep. This Hyunmin Son, we're not going to go through all these, obviously, but just to pick a few favorites. This Hyunmin Son booklet is a source of constant interest and constant attention whenever we...
If people knew the cost of the mag itself and how hard it was to find that mag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, I wish I could have sold it without the mag. I have a relationship to the mag, not the card.
Yeah. But I think that's one of the reasons people keep asking us about it, is because it's so rare, especially in Europe, where the supplies are not like as freely available and people don't have kind of large stocks of these special holders and booklet holders and stuff. When you see it and you see it properly displayed, because we're so used to, we ourselves have, booklets and stuff that are folded up.
Yeah.
And you tell someone you have it and then you have to kind of get it out. And so many people have that kind of situation. So when you see it fully displayed in the mag, I think people are immediately like, whoa, look at that.
Yeah,
that's a piece all of itself.
Card, yeah. Like the women's 101, I forgot that was in there.
Yeah, Amanda Nielden for Juventus.
Premier Gold, those are interesting cards. I remember I bought them, I think, on eBay as well. Brought them all over the world, and it's really hard to get the true value of them because they are rare, they're different. You need a collector to want it. So to auction them off was kind of a nice thing that it'll find its true value at this current moment in time.
Yes, indeed. Let me just keep scrolling here for a second and see. Is there anything else I want to point out? There's another Premier Gold, Didier Drogba. Conor Bradley after his big game, by the way, against Real Madrid.
Good time to be auctioning that. Yeah, there you go. I was about to set the high. But like even that West Ham, the Paquetá checkerboard from, I believe, a lucky envelope. Yeah. £19. Like that, that is a card someone at a show says £20 and you would be open to it, especially if they say I'm a West Ham fan and you're kind of going, yeah.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
So, to be honest, I find a lot more interesting things happening here at the lower end than the higher end. But yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs on it. And we will swing back to it. I know, maybe the listeners maybe don't want to necessarily listen to it. I see that Van Persie's breaking my heart. Maybe that's for no one. Maybe that that would have been one, Jason, for this weekend, to be honest.
I know.
So we're a bit
and there's actually another Van Persie select as well.
Yeah. So those 2015, 16 selects, incredible cards. You'll win some and you lose some. Oh, look, go up to that. Oh, I'm after breaking my heart there. Look at that Pirlo.
Yes. The off 75 Merlin.
Is that ours?
Is that ours? I don't think that's it.
That might not be ours because I have the 101 of that on the way. And I just got sad when I said, wait, you're telling me I could have started the rainbow?
Yeah. No.
That's all right.
Look, we'll review this on Tuesday when it's all said and done. But even look at that, Jude Bellingham, international stars.
There's a lot.
Okay, it's a PSA 10, but like.
No, I know. But if you look at the one below that, even like that Turquoise, that's a perfect example of a card you just auction off and hope for the best. And that's why you send it to a UK auction house, because it is obviously Liverpool card, etc., etc. Yeah, look, I'm sure by the end of it all, we'll be disappointed in some, we won't be disappointed in others, and it should kind of shake out well. I certainly hope anyway.
That just to point out this, and again we will get off this for any listeners that are like, enough about your own auction, but
yeah.
This Steven Gerrard 2014, that came as a blue Gerrard, a blue Lampard, a red Gerrard, and a red Lampard. You got that in Copenhagen.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is, but I was expecting more interest in them. Obviously, there's an unlicensed thing going on from England in 2014 Prizm, but we kind of brought them back to our neck of the woods, thinking, oh, these will garner a lot of interest.
Take these out of Copenhagen, bring them to the UK, and it should be job done. But obviously, unlicensed does factor in.
Right, so we'll check in with that. It's Trade Week cards on eBay, and they're very graciously selling our cards.
Like this was like totally experimental. Like we literally went to the London Card Show with loads of cards that we thought would do well at the London Card Show, and we did very well that weekend at the London Card Show. It was a very strong weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, we just took every single card that was on the table, put it in a box, gave it to Paul and Kelly who run Tradeway. So like it was like, I don't know, like some of them, Jason, what I'm saying is I look at some of them and I go, oh, damn, we threw that in. And it's like, that kind of makes it fun for me, where it's like we literally just took a load of our cards, said, let it rip. 99 cents, send them all, let's go. You know, and that, like, it's a bit of fun. It's obviously some of them, like I seen the Wayne Rooney, obviously that's good to sell in that market, but the Wayne Rooney Select PSA 10 blue, I love that card, PSA 10, I was like, that's beautiful.
Yes,
But, and obviously like we messed up a little bit on the Van Persies because we're going to the Netherlands, stuff like that, but that's like shows you that we literally just took it all, said we're not carrying this home with us, it's all going to them, we're going to see where is the value at. So although it might not be that interesting necessarily for the people listening, it is interesting for us to be like, someone wouldn't take this card off my table for £5, they said it was £2, or £10, they said it's £5, and now it's being auctioned up at 19, and it's fascinating because we always come into the situation of people asking us, especially in Europe, especially in Ireland, how much is this worth? Where should I sell this? What platform do you sell it on? And we're almost, because we haven't filtered it at all, like we haven't used any kind of intelligence that we have in the hobby to handpick cards that are going to be perfect for this market, this auction, beyond just going kind of Premier League heavy. I think when we look at it, because we're going to, off the podcast, we're going to be looking at the results of these very kind of closely, like all the way through every single card, just to kind of see where we were, where they were. And I do think at the end of it all, we're going to be able to tell people, hey, we would recommend these as a co-signer. If you have been ripping cards for the last 2 years and haven't never got around to selling it, or you put it on your eBay and you're based in Ireland, so you're not getting eyes. We're kind of, I don't know, we're very much, this is like an experiment. The reason why it even made a segment, kind of, it's not because it's our cards, it's more so because this is something that we could actually then end up getting other people to do, because it's kind of just a bit of fun and experimentation. And we threw cards in there that I would never even take the time to list on my own eBay, because I'd see it as a €5 to €10 card and I wouldn't be doing it. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I also think like there is, as you say, like we're not kind of, we obviously would have mentioned it if we were just promoting it. We would have mentioned it the same way we don't really mention soccercards.com, where you can get loads of soccer card boxes. But you know, it's not just promotional. It's kind of one of those things where like a lot of people do ask us, where should I sell my cards? How can I realize the price? What is this worth? And I think it's almost like we're, to a certain extent, which we've done before with our own eBay auctions, and because of shipping and because of the Irish market and all that kind of stuff, we have too much, you know, in a much more less effective way. We have already done this in the past, but we're kind of putting our money where our mouth is and saying like, look, I'm letting these cards ride. Like, I don't know, I'll probably get more money on some cards that I don't think, you know, I will, and less on others. But we will also get a picture of the market. Like, for instance, if you look at, we talked about the Color Blast in a PSA 10, that is very much, as you say, a card for the American market, where Color Blast as a Panini insert has a certain status where PSA 10s compared to, especially the UK market, but in general in the European market, PSA 10s are not necessarily something people are going to be happy to pay you a large premium for. 2015 selects we saw there as well, 2014 Prizms, which are kind of cards that are, maybe a little bit, they're not really remembered coming out in the UK. So people are not necessarily looking for them. They're not collecting them. There's no nostalgia for them. And so it does kind of actually tell us when we look at the results of this and we see, okay, what's happening here? So like the cards that we didn't think from 2022, 2023 Premier League Prizm, those numbered parallels are doing much better than we expected. But this 2015 Robin Van Persie Select is not doing well. What's going on there? And it kind of just tells us that stuff that we don't necessarily think of the mark as being features of the market. So there is hopefully some wisdom to be
that's right
gained out of all this. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Panini inserts, tomorrow,
I really hope when people play this back, your mic is just fucked.
So hopefully, because if you look at the speaking of Panini inserts, tomorrow there is going to be another version of 23-24 Panini Obsidian. We're not out of 23-24 season yet, folks.
We're almost, but not quite.
Almost, but not quite. And that is Hobby International, which Panini fans will know is kind of a recent addition to the Panini stable of products.
I didn't know they launched that on their own website.
Neither did I. I mean, one of the interesting things about this immediately, I don't know if this is interesting. It's interesting to us because we are often concerned with the geometry of boxes in a way that other people are not at all concerned. But this is not like a Tmall box where it's a small kind of just, pack of cigarette shaped box.
But it's still one pack per box, so it might be. No, and it doesn't look like it, but like we got the cases. We had a couple of cases of this, Jason, and they weren't giant. So, but no, yeah, I mean, I suppose they were bigger than normal, weren't they? Because normally it's 12. No, normally it's 20 per case, and they're tiny. Yeah, so 12 per case. Yeah, you're right.
Sorry. Okay, yeah. So that's just a contrast from Obsidian Tmall for Obsidian fans. This is 2 autographs or memorabilia cards per box, 1 base red pulsar, 1 additional base red pulsar or parallel, 1 insert or parallel per box on average. So 5 cards per pack, 1 pack per box, 12 boxes per case. Yeah, I like a red flood.
Yeah, Tmall / Hobby International for Obsidian is one of my favorite kind of SKUs compared to like, Select has Hobby International, doesn't do it for me. Like Tmall really does, and that's because, or Obsidian really does, because I think the red floods in it are numbered to 8 maybe. And you're pretty much, I think you're guaranteed them in a box and whatever. So I think like I haven't found a checklist or anything properly yet for this in terms of the parallels that are in it, but from past, I think the highest number was like 30 maybe. Is that right? Like 30?
Right. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So I'm expecting it to be somewhat similar, and Hobby International has been in enrichment on Tmall. So yeah, I'm going to be glued to some breaks on this just to see how does it look. What are the numbers? How are the hit rates? Is it juiced up or is it kind of standard? I don't know. I'm expecting this to be a really good set.
I think actually, like, because obviously you're saying it works really well for this in terms of Tmall or Hobby International for Obsidian. We also see that when we go to shows from the website, Obsidian is a product that a lot of people like. It's hit rich, but it is expensive to buy a box of Obsidian Hobby. And to have a slightly more affordable version of it, I think works really well in a way for something like maybe, EPL Select, like you're saying, if you have EPL Select International, if you're going to buy a box of that, you almost might as well buy a box of Hobby.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case really with Obsidian.
Panini have come out this year with the Hobby Internationals and have almost been under the radar. So instead of, and I think that is kind of pushing towards European growth as well. Like they used to have the Panini Asia logo on Tmall, which was very much a Panini. It was they treated it as kind of European and Asia exclusive, but it was very much an Asia product. Hobby International does show they're basically saying everywhere other than the US.
Yep, for sure.
Obviously, this is all coming from Panini America. Like Topps is different because it has an absolute HQ over here in Europe and in the UK. Panini doesn't. Panini has their own little subsidiaries, but they're so different.
Yeah, but this is not being released by Panini UK or Panini Italia. This is Panini America launching an international product.
Exactly. And it's Hobby International, which has UK and Europe in mind when they do that. And compared to Tmall, they have been more hit rich. And like they've come and gone this year. Like you haven't, I think it's hard to get a box of like FIFA Select International. Like you can't find them. They're just not loads. They're not.
Yeah.
because they're affordable, but they're also still have nice hits in it. So I'm expecting this to disappear.
I think just talking about the growth of Europe and addressing that market with these products, I think one of the things you look at, and certainly why we would often recommend people start their collections or start their kind of hobby journey with a Topps box as opposed to Panini box, is that the entry point on Panini boxes traditionally is higher. And I think if you look at what Topps have done, especially in Europe or in emerging markets in general, they've been very good at having a range of products. Okay, you know, we can argue as to whether any of the prices are reasonable, but having a range of products that are affordable, you can get a box of flagship for 100 quid or whatever it may be, and enter the market. And I think Panini probably rightly recognized that they were, you know, a hobby box of Panini was the equivalent of a box of Topps Museum or something like that. It wasn't, you know, or a particularly successful year of Topps Chrome or something might be worth, you know, more than ORP, which kind of gets you into Panini territory. And they definitely needed, I think, a set of accessible products that you could dip your toe in Panini without being like, I'm spending 400 quid minimum.
Yeah, but with hits, right? Because they've always had their blasters and their mega boxes and their retail.
That's right. That's the crucial thing, yeah.
But they didn't have hits, right? They just didn't. They were long odds to get a hit. These things having the guaranteed auto and the guaranteed numbers, like that's making a big difference.
Absolutely. Just to address something that did kind of was pointed out a while ago, almost a week ago, but Topps launched a new sticker collection, and in that their UCL sticker collection, and just to say, maybe this is not brand new, but it does say first sticker on the player's first sticker, and I just think this is actually a good move. I'm glad they didn't think to, you know, should we put rookie logos on stickers? I'm glad, and that's kind of like maybe a suggestion you might start with.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I think it's very smart to go first sticker instead of rookie card, for themselves, for the market, and just for differentiating stickers and cards, which I think is going to help stickers long term.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good, and I think you're right. I'm sure they did kind of consider having a rookie card. Do we not? But obviously, rookie card by its nature isn't a sticker, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think you're right, Jason. I think that's going to actually help. Just identify it, make it easier for us. I actually flicked through the book, not an ad, but I flicked through the book that you gave me, Jason, the Panini book. And it was fun.
Panini Legends by Greg Lansdale.
Yeah, because it was literally just, I'm looking at Panini stickers I'm familiar with, and I was like, this is great. It was nice. It was a fun little flick through.
And it's also that thing of, you know, the way we say, like, I think Luka Modric is generally the example we use, where he has a card, and if there were rookie logos being put on all sorts of soccer cards, he would have rookie logos on his rookies, but he doesn't. Obviously, this is a top of his first cards, don't have a rookie logo.
Yeah.
But similarly, his first sticker, Luka Modric's first sticker, doesn't have a first sticker logo.
No, you have to go and find it.
You have to go and find it. What is his first sticker? Now, you could look up that book we were not promoting, but and it would tell you for a lot of the players. But I like the idea of, like, in future, if you have, you know, Seni Mayuda there for PSG, what's his first sticker? It's the one that says first sticker. What's his rookie card? It's the one that says rookie card. And I know people would say, you're kind of giving the companies a lot of power in that case, and they're telling you what the rookie card is and what the first sticker is, as opposed to the more natural way of, like, who knows what Eric Cantona's rookie sticker is? We're all going to go and find it, or is that the 92? But, you know, not whatever. But it's still good.
But, like, in a world like with Kylian Mbappe, do you think if that happened today, where he had this Panini sticker in 2016 and in 2017 there was a Topps thing, do you think that Topps thing would have a first sticker on it? That's going to be the kind of... Now, it doesn't matter as much these days because every player kind of almost gets a card in the same year they have their sticker, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, but I think if you had a situation where there was a first sticker logo on Kylian Mbappe's Panini foot, for instance, and then on his 2017 Topps Chrome there was a rookie logo, I actually think...
No, but I'm talking about the 2017 Topps sticker. You know, the Monaco sticker.
The 2017 Topps sticker, yeah. In a world where they're not acknowledging Panini's sticker.
Yeah. I'm saying, would they stick first sticker on that? Because Panini wouldn't have first sticker in that scenario. Let's say they don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's true. Once you add the logo, then you also add the competition of who puts the logo on first, and does one person put it on, another person doesn't put it on.
But it's almost like, would the Panini foot Mbappe have the same premium as the 2017 sticker Mbappe in a world where the sticker Mbappe says first sticker, even if it wasn't first? Are people confused enough to kind of go, that's the sticker you buy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the market has kind of signaled that a lot of people would really rather it say rookie card, or really rather it say first sticker, than
people
have to tell people.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's a sort of a... We should say as well, sorry, Barcelona team set came out.
Yep. Full of hits.
Instagram algorithm just to
can I say
help the show there. Yeah,
that's something that they seem to be doing this year. Obviously, the team sets like last year with Gold Drip and stuff like that, they had kind of all of the different team sets were designed in the same way, and then the clubs were kind of imprinted upon that design. Same is happening this year, and as you can see here by this 1 of 1, which is funnily, it's instead of having the 1/1, it's words. It's almost like has the 1/1 lost its meaning, and then we need to kind of make things look a bit more special.
Yeah, maybe so.
So this says 1 of 1 in text, and it is a patch autograph, and the patch is part of the club logo. That is something that they have throughout the all the team sets. So I really like that. I like that you can have like that's the logo, man. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's not the star ball, it's not whatever. It's like give me a patch autograph 1 of 1 with the club crest as the autograph. I think that they're going to be fun chase cards for sure. It would have been nice if they had like an on card or whatever, but obviously that's stretching it a bit for a team set. But really nice.
So yeah, and there's patches and all that stuff. I do think actually like the enrichment of team sets, and again we can talk about prices, we can talk about whatever. We have to kind of talk about these things relative to each other. I suppose can't just talk about them objectively. What are any of us doing here? But relatively speaking, the improvement of team sets year on year has been a big success story. I think for Topps. I mean, a couple of years ago, team sets were absolutely, a sort of Panini retail situation. There was absolutely nothing in them, basically. Yeah. And they've been enriched to the point where it's like, legitimately, if you are a fan of this club, you're probably just better off going out and buying a team set than buying a hobby box and trying to chase.
Yeah. And like you get your team set and you're almost guaranteed an autograph. And then it's like, get your sleeve, get your top loader. Like, what is this? What am I doing? And it's definitely, it's a player from your club. So you're probably going to like the autograph. And we've seen it ourselves. There's been a big success in just selling through team sets. Fan sets obviously are much more affordable in price point, but they do fall into that kind of region of there's nothing really in them.
Yes,
they're almost impulse buys for people. I think they'd just be better in physical retail situation. I think fan sets are to get like fans of the sport into cards, whereas team sets are to get people that are kind of in cards or hobby adjacent or collectibles into cards. Do you know?
Yep. It's you buy a fan set. It's almost like, because it used to be a case of you bought the team set and you went, there's nothing in this. And then you've had to then you message Shot Cards United on Instagram and we say, yeah, buy a box of flagship, you might get something in it. If I want something for my team, but you have to just take your chances or whatever. But now it's almost like there is that kind of graduated step up. You go fan set, then you go team set. Then if you're still interested or you want to go from just kind of supporting your team by buying some of this merchandise or whatever to actually collecting cards in general, you can then step up the hobby.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Yeah, like we've seen that, and this is a little bit different, Jason. We've seen when 2024 F1 Chrome came out, the Formula 1 account actually tweeted it. They tweeted all the cards, and F1 fans who don't know about cards were seeing that for the first time. And F1 fans, as we know, Jason, do collect little helmets. Like they're into memorabilia, they're into caps, and they're into jackets and stuff like that. So I looked through the comments on that and it was really interesting. There was some hobby people there and you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. But it was the people who were not from the hobby that were like, where do I get these? What are these? This is brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
They were just like, this is Formula 1. What is this? And it was good to see. And I think, you're getting the same thing there. People see soccer cards and discover it in the first way. And if you're a fan of a team that has a team set and it's not terrible, it's actually an enriched team set. It's an easy entry point and kind of hook to get them in and go, right, there you go. Now you end up with a few hits from your team and you're kind of like, all right, what's next? If you're lucky, if you're part of a real team, Jason, you'll have some Topps Chrome sets as well, maybe like Juventus Chrome and Barca Chrome. Maybe someday AC Milan Chrome, Jason. There you
go. It is one of those things which is an interesting kind of thing, I think, which is the soccer hobby in general, I would say, is overly dominated by neutrals. This is something I kind of do think about a bit, which is I think a lot of people, the soccer hobby in general is not as team based as other parts of the hobby. Like I see like baseball, American football, basketball, there are healthy markets within markets per team. And that's something I think in soccer, we still talk a lot about players as if it doesn't really matter who they play for, or as if their team is largely irrelevant. Everyone talks about the products and the top players from them, but we're still not really mature enough where people are actually like, these are all, I mean, obviously I'm going to use Chelsea as an example. There are obviously loads of Chelsea collectors and they are a strong community of their own way. I'm just picking them as an example. You can't necessarily just live in that ecosystem. But I think as the hobby matures, like eventually, I imagine there are collectors of Milwaukee Bucks cards who that's their whole collecting community is just trading and buying and selling amongst themselves or entering into breaks just for their team. I think we're still in the stage of being a little bit lottery ticket, a little bit player focused, a little bit kind of like everyone wants the same 10 players. And I would like to see over the next few years, and I think fan sets and team sets, regardless of what you may think of them, are going to help this because you do kind of need fans. We saw it in London just recently. Someone coming up and going, "What West Ham cards have you got?" Or someone going on that auction and saying, "Is that a Paquetá out of 8? Great, yeah, I'll bid 20 quid on that, sure." I do think eventually that's where we're going, and I hope we get there kind of sooner rather than later because I think maybe it's the American influence where you're not necessarily growing up with strong feelings about other soccer teams, or there's a lot of kind of people who have adopted soccer teams.
Yeah,
I say that as someone who has adopted a soccer team from a foreign country, by the way. I'm as guilty of this as anyone. But, eventually I would like to see some more tribalism in the soccer card.
Like I do see some of it. Like I feel like with Arsenal, AC Milan specifically, I feel like I've seen a lot of there's a lot of people that you can find
100%. Yeah.
And Italian cards as well. It's a killer. There's a lot of Asian collectors of Italian cards and of AC Milan cards because Italy and AC Milan, so Serie A was such a big deal to them kind of back in the 80s and the 90s. So the people that have spending power in Asia collect these clubs and they're doing it. So like every now and then I'll find and you probably see it, Jason, on our feed as well. I follow Instagram accounts when I see someone with crazy high end stuff. And there's a few people that have like all of the 101 Buffons and all, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, why is it so hard? Like when like most of my AC Milan 101s are a hit. It's very rare that I can get one.
You have to pack pull them. Yeah,
I have to pack pull them in order to have them. And then people are actually always messaging me again, "Hey, can I buy that?" And it's like, geez.
Yeah.
So like in that case, there is that kind of tribalism you're talking about where it's kind of like we've become our own market, our own kind of like internal economy in the whole thing where it's like when a 101 AC Milan card gets hit, everyone's kind of like, oh, and we all know about it and we're all chasing it. And yeah, I do think we need more of that to happen. And I do think it is happening.
Yeah, it definitely is there for a few of the clubs that, especially if clubs that you look at have team licenses with tops. But like say for Dortmund, and I know there are loads of Dortmund collectors, or Leipzig, and Dortmund fans will not like to be mentioned in the same sentence as Leipzig. Or I think we saw Benfica fan sets as well. Like a big one, for instance, like, and one I'm really, really excited about is Manchester United. I know I've already talked about this, but like if like I obviously it's on my mind because Ruben Amorim has just taken over at Manchester United and they've drawn 1-1 with Ipswich. But if that was like if Man United take off, because basically the entire soccer hobby has taken place in the post-Ferguson era, but like that is in hobby terms such a sleeping giant.
Yeah, that breaking spot should always be mad expensive and hard to nail down or whatever. Yeah,
which just hasn't been in kind of our hobby lifetime, say. So yeah, I don't know. That was probably a bit of a ramble, but I'm just gathering my thoughts on it as we go.
That's right. We're learning as we go here, people.
Yeah. Okay, we actually have a couple of listener contributions, including one. Huh, what's up?
Did you get the email?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I thought you didn't see it.
So first I want to start with Alistair from AMCC Breaks in Malaysia, who had sent in some thoughts on the Asia Card Show, which he traveled to. And we heard from James a couple of weeks ago at the Asia Card Show. We heard from Jamie and what he thought of it. And I'd asked Alistair to jot down a few notes if he had time, and he did. But then we hadn't got around to it until now. So here is AMCC Breaks on the ASCC, which is kind of... the Asia Card Show was a great show for vendors, in his opinion. It seemed as if everyone was there to show off their cards. It was a great opportunity to flex and possibly find a deep pocket buyer to buy them at premium. But for the collectors of the lower end, it's unlikely to find success in singles over there, which jives actually with what Jamie was saying, in terms of cards being quite highly priced and there not really been a real impetus to sell from the vendors behind the tables. I picked up only a single card, but I did because it was something I wasn't able to find back home. It'd be great to build, but it would be great to build relationships, connections with other stores and breakers through being at the same event. So again, that's kind of thing of it's a regional meeting point, and we know ourselves from going to card shows around Europe. Like you kind of do, that is kind of how you build a relationship. Is if you're beside somebody's table all day or all weekend, you kind of see what they're selling, see what they're buying, and it's much easier to build a rapport, I think, that way. Okay, sorry. For regular collectors, seem to have everything from signing sessions to official tops for Panini booths to browsing a huge gallery of high-end cards, and to get a taste of the Asian market as a whole. It seemed more than worth the entry fee. And to top it all off, my favorite part was when Topps had done their announcement of new releases, showing how much effort and emphasis they're placing on the Asian market. Overall, 8 out of 10 for the Asia card show from someone who flew to Macau all the way from Malaysia.
I hadn't heard about product releases. I didn't hear about that at all.
They may have done sort of a Fanatics Fest style.
That's what I mean, but I didn't. It didn't reach my timeline. Do you know?
Yeah. Hope more events like this happen near us. It will help grow the scale of the card scene in the region more and more. So, I mean, 8 out of 10 from somebody who flew from Malaysia to Macau, which is not a short distance. That's a pretty good review, I think.
10 out of 10, yeah. I mean, 8 out of 10, but...
Well, 8 out of 10, but from we're reviewing his review as a 10 out of 10.
That's right.
But yeah, it's interesting to see that like Topps and Panini were there kind of in an official capacity, and obviously we saw there was Topps Chrome packs and all that. So yeah, I tell you what, Enzo, I'm kind of getting a bit antsy to head over there for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it. We need to just plan it a little bit, Jason. That's all. But it's not unmanageable.
It's a simple matter of logistics.
That's right, and we could do that. Just Aer Lingus don't go there. That's the problem, you see.
I know. Okay, let me see here. This email from Sean, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, so let me set this up. So we've been talking about Premier League Prizm recently on the show, and we said if there's anyone who is actually a Premier League Prizm super fan or collector, or is like very into Premier League Prizm, please do get in touch, because we know you're out there. You must be out there, but you're not kind of part of the mainstream hobby conversation. So we're platforming Premier League Prizm fans here.
And sure enough, someone listens to our podcast who is just that. We are massive, by the way.
Yeah. Sean says, feel free to skip down to the For the Podcast episode, but I'd actually like to just include the other part as well, because it's a long email, but it's interesting. It's not flattering, no. I mean, it's not unflattering, but okay. I'm writing in regard to the latest episode here from Prizm Collectors. Yes. It is. First of all, I'd say I'm a huge fan of the show and have been a long-time listener from New Jersey, in the USA. So it's a little bit flattering.
That's right.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for saying so. Like many, I got back into the hobby in 2020 as I mainly collected baseball cards as a kid, but took a long break. When I saw soccer cards exist in 2020, Prizm was by far my favorite set, and the first blaster I ever bought was 2021 EPL Prizm, where I pulled a Marcus Rashford kaboom, and from that moment I was hooked.
That's how you do it.
I mean, you can imagine you'd be hooked at that point. A blaster, a kaboom, what? Yeah.
It's all happening.
Sold it for $530 raw at the time.
Now you're in the hobby.
Holy smokes. I dove into all things sock cards and discovered you guys shortly after my emergence in the hobby. Prizm card stock astounded me compared to the junk wax era of 90s baseball cards, which is an interesting thing to consider as well. Which, to be honest, Enzo, I'm going to just take that point up for a second, because I feel like, as someone who explains the hobby time and time again to people in Europe or to people who are only familiar with match attacks, I think the amount of times I've handed somebody a Topps Chrome card who has previously only seen, or a Prizm card, who's previously only seen a match attacks card or a sticker, and people kind of do take it for granted what they're seeing. I'm surprised, because it of course makes sense that if you use the kind of 90s junk wax and then you get like a kind of Optichrome technology Prizm parallel or something, you'd be like, oh my God, this card is incredible. But we rarely ever get that reaction. People kind of just go, all right, yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, Jason. I know what you're saying. But that's the problem with flagship. Sometimes you hand them flagship and they're going, yeah, I understand.
Right, yeah.
Tell me more.
It's a refractor, really, they need to see. They
need to see maybe a sapphire card or something of the ilk, or a red flood or something.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you mean. I mean, you need to feel it. You need to understand. But like card stuff these days goes both ways, so you never really know.
I know, yeah. But it is like, I just like the idea of somebody seeing it and going, yes, I appreciate this in and of itself, compared to what I previously experienced. Okay, for the podcast. After trying to chase the big hit hype, I realized I truly enjoy collecting more than flipping. I am a Prizm EPL super fan that almost exclusively collects EPL Prizm soccer.
That's what we're looking for.
That's what we're looking for. So what do I do to make the hobby fun? What I do to make the hobby fun for myself while keeping it affordable and cheap as a father of 3 young children. I like to hear responsible fathers not going out and spending the kids' college fund.
Responsible collecting, by the way.
Yeah. A lot of people Could do with a lesson in this.
Oh, tremendous amount of people, Jason.
Yeah, tremendous amount of people. Is I collect the entire base set and base insert checklist of each year of EPL soccer, but I put the restriction on myself that I cannot use eBay to make completing the set more challenging and fun. I must either pull the card myself, trade for them, or find them in a hobby shop in order to add them to my set. I've also decided to start collecting all the Prizm World Cup base and base inserts as well. This keeps me engaged in the hobby while not breaking the bank, and it's a blast when I come across base cards in hobby shops that I'm excited to find for my sets, even though to most people they are worthless base cards. To me, finding base card 300 of 300 to complete a checklist is the same feeling as pulling a big hit. I love the idea of not using eBay because otherwise it's kind of a cheat code.
Yeah, don't cheat. And we love our friends at eBay. Don't get that twisted. Do not get it twisted.
No, don't get it twisted.
I mean, I'm similar. Jason, I'm trying to finish my blue set of Inception 21-22.
Yep.
And there's only 2 cards missing. Danny Olmo and Declan Rice.
You never get him now.
I know, I can't believe it. I'm fuming. And Declan Rice, I don't want to have him. But like they've popped up on eBay a few times, and for me it was more of a price thing. They were too expensive, and I was like, I'm not paying that. But I'm kind of like hoping for the day I can be at a show and go, show me what you have, and then they have that, and they're trying to get a card off me, and I go, do you know what? I actually really need that Danny Olmo.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I understand it. I understand not going through eBay, especially if you're doing base cards. You don't like. There are some people that will have a full set on eBay. Like you don't want to. No.
It's good.
Nothing.
It's also the kind of thing that is like you. It's the kind of thing you can only do if you have like local card stores, or you have kind of regular shows around you, or that kind of thing, or you have like you can go and get easy access to a retail product or something like that. And it's the kind of thing I'd like people in Europe to be able to do. Maybe that's a little bit down the road. My main question for you both. Sean has a question.
You're tying over there.
You guys are one of the few card podcasts that I listen to that actually seems to discuss and care about the designs of base cards in each set and the boxes they come in, might I have.
Yeah.
And I love that. So simply going alone on aesthetics alone, not value, not nostalgia, etc. What is your favorite Prizm base card design for each of the years it was released? I've included pictures of the great N'Golo Kante and Reece James for 23-24 because N'Golo wasn't on the checklist from the 5 EPL Prizm releases for you to compare and pick one. Cheers, Sean. Whoa, this is a big challenge.
That's right.
We're picking our top EPL Prizm base design.
Okay, lay it out, Jason. Let me see.
Okay.
Can I say that's the first Prizm card I ever owned, like that design, and I did own it in N'Golo Kante because I had actually purchased, Jason, a load of team bundles on eBay of Chelsea and of Wolves. I don't know if you remember this.
Certainly I do, yeah.
I used to buy the Chelsea team sets, and then I would take the Christian Pulisic out of it. He's holding the jersey on that one, and I would sell that for more than the team sets. That's how I started. That's how my start in the game, Jason.
Look at you now.
Hilariously enough, Wolves, it was all about buying the team set of Wolves and selling the Adama Traore because people were insane. Yeah. And then after a period of time, Jason, Diogo Jota signed for Liverpool, and I got to go back to my base cards, and I got to make money off Diogo Jota as well.
Incredible. You make money coming and going.
Yeah, that's right. In and out. But as a result, I have some of them in my house somewhere, that exact design. So I'm not to say that's my favorite, but that's the one that has nostalgia for me from that memory. So let me look.
You're not allowed to include nostalgia.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking.
You're not.
I'm just telling you. Right. Fun story. Let's go.
Yeah, this obviously this 2019-20 EPL Prizm does have, I think, a place in the heart of many a collector.
That's right.
Right, this is 2020, 21.
Can I say this is? I don't know if I'm gonna do. Oh, this is brilliant. I don't like this one because I remember I opened a what were they called? They weren't blaster boxes. They had a different name, didn't they? Cereal boxes. I opened cereal boxes, and I fucking just despised getting nothing inside my cereal boxes. And as a result, that Prizm design drives me mad.
Yeah. Right. So you have the 2 in your head so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's. Right. Okay. Now we're on to 21-22.
Okay.
This is, I would say, more of a. Let me see. Let me just kind of compare and contrast so far. 29-20, quite a basic design. Then they added more of the team's color the following year. You see a lot of blue accents there in a way there wasn't in the previous year. Then you go here to a more elaborate,
windowy kind of vibe.
Windowy kind of thing. Yeah, it looks more like the N'Golo Kante's been held in some sort of chamber. Then here you kind of get the geometry starts to come in. A couple of pillars, each with the crest. And this is 22, 23. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Garnacho rookie year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is the latest one, which is kind of, I would say, like 21, 22, kind of like that one a little bit in terms of the framing. So I'll tell you a few things I'm thinking about when I look at these designs.
Tell me.
One is how much color of the club is being used in the design. So, for instance, here you see there's a couple of blue accents there, but in this one, there's hardly any blue at all.
Yeah, but like not all of them show the club crest, whereas I think the first 3 did, or maybe the first 4 do. Or no, the second one didn't, right? No club
second
crest.
One didn't. No club crest and no Premier League crest.
But I like the Premier League and the club crest. I think if we're talking about licensing, I kind of like it. One of the things I think about is like there, the Kante has a full view where you see the pitch and the ball, and I do love that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the 23rd one, sorry.
Yeah.
I loved that one for color. That was a really good frame. Like that might be my
because when you get like a gold or something like that, it's
very gold.
Bang. Yeah.
That might be.
But don't forget, we're only picking our favorite base design.
I know, but that might be my favorite base design, I think.
Oh, okay. Right.
Although
I'm not a big fan of this.
I am a fan of that. I'm a fan of that.
One?
I'm a fan of that for the left and right. I like how they incorporated the Premier League and the club logo. It was fun for opening cards as well because you can kind of go to the right. You see the club crest first. That was fun. Yeah. The top and bottom I didn't love, especially because of how off center sometimes it was very obvious. But that's very Prizm of it. I don't know. I know what you mean. It's kind of a time glass design. I don't love it, but I did like how they had the logo, the Premier League and the Chelsea logo incorporated there.
There's something about the geometry of this card that is kind of giving me kind of like a shortening effect. It's kind of like it looks almost as if it's been pressed down. And that is one thing that I don't understand about card design, or design in general. But why do some cards look bigger than other cards, or even feel bigger in your hand than other cards? Like there's kind of optical stuff going on there that I wish I could explain, but I can't. But you know, something you see like I often think like Panini case hits just look bigger than Topps case hits. They almost look more expansive or something like that. I don't know how you even describe it. Am I crazy? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but you are crazy as well.
Okay. That's two separate things, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to make your pick?
I need to see them all again.
Okay. 2019-20. Jude class, 2020-21. 21-22. 22-23. And 23-24. I feel like my answer is such a cop-out.
Definitely is.
Yeah, I like the first one. 2019-20. And I tell you what, I like it.
Can you show me them one more time? I just need to see something real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Will I explain my reasoning on and then you can answer?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, a few things I like here. I like the wide frame. I like how much space the player's been given. I like the lack of funky geometry. Like we were looking at Obsidian earlier, and one of my least favorite things about Obsidian is once you go away from the base set, there's a lot of kind of sort of crazy shapes and stuff happening, and like all sorts of triangles and things. And for me, it distracts, and it is like more about the design than the card. I don't know what you'd say, but I like the simplicity of this, and I cannot take away the nostalgia. I wish I could, Sean. I'm so sorry, but I just cannot separate that. For me, I like how it's not like completely blue. So if you line up a set of this base set, you actually see the players, and you focus on like what's kind of happening in the card, as opposed to like that's obviously all red, that's obviously all orange, whatever. So for whatever reason, I'm going 2019-2020.
That's my second favorite one. I agree with everything that you're saying there, especially just the framing of it, and you're still getting the full kind of field view kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You have both the logos in there, with the Chelsea logo bigger than the Premier League logo, which I like. But yeah, for me, it's 21-22. I just think that's a very. I like it. And then to be honest, I might have to look at a few more cards and a few more players, because I would also say that this is the best scan that we have. It's kind of the brightest. It looks,
True. Yeah.
We might be led into this one, but I do think that's just nice. I am thinking a little bit about the golds as well, how nice they look in that design. I know I'm not allowed, but I think it's good. I like it.
I would say like this one is probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
I just think that's like there's nothing really going on. They haven't decided what they want to do here. I guess like it's almost like a sort of it kind of goes up in a straight line, then it curves almost to frame the player, like kind of like to outline the player. But there's just too many kind of random lines. This looks a bit doodly to me, and that's no disrespect to the designers. I don't know how it couldn't be disrespect, but this looks a little bit doodly, a little bit like you're just kind of drawing shapes across it, and then you go, right, that's grand.
Yeah, a bit crazy.
Whereas at least the one which you've picked as your favorite, which is this one, does look.
It looks clean, right? It's a frame.
Clean and intentional. Yeah. So
there you go.
I hope that was a satisfying breakdown.
I'm sure the audio listeners love that, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's when you're going to have to break out the old YouTube for, I'm afraid.
That's right. So sorry.
Don't forget, we are in Amersfoort on Sunday with Q's Cards to co-host a showcase.
You can watch Jason say, that's a beautiful 101, but you see, I don't like the lines are not intentional. I'm not enough for me.
Yeah. And I presume we'll be posting from that event, so you can follow along on Sunday and see what we're getting up to. In the meantime, I hope everyone enjoys their weekend, whether they're in Amersfoort with us on Sunday or not. We won't hold it against you.
Enjoy your Black Friday. I don't think soccersite.com are participating in that because we're going to be in Amersfoort. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But and we also won't be doing a live stream for our auction results because we'll be in Amersfoort,
unfortunately.
So basically, if you want anything to do with Soccer United this weekend, we're going to have to see you in Amersfoort.
You're going to have to go to the Netherlands.
It's unavoidable. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, Enzo, I'll see you over the weekend.
Come on, Jason. Can't wait to see you.
All right. That's nice. Me too.
Aer Lingus, Jason. Come on.
Aer Lingus.